Hello, my name is Bobbie Richardson and I am a channeler. Today I am going to be tapping into the Arcturians and see what they have to bring through. I have had many encounters with many different beings. I've seen a lot of beings. They visited me over the span of like 45 years. My mum had the same gift. This is seeing outside of myself, and I got to recognize their different vibrations and what they felt like when they come through, because I'm a highly attuned empath. But the Arcturians are more, I didn't actually see them. They came through as a telepathic connection, and they were very persistent. So I got to recognize their vibration not through visitation, but just through persistency of them tapping in with me of higher frequency. And they would wake me up and give me information or dreams or so forth. I just finished stepping through the portal into Arcturia, so you can go take a look at that if you want. I have also done several other stepping through portals into different places as well. This is all bringing through awareness of these different planetary alignments that are here to help guide humanity, so that humanity can start to get used to their vibration and have a better understanding. So here goes. I will tap into the Arcturians and see what they have to say. So one of the first things that they're coming up with is the illusion that humanity is under the spell of. And they're wanting to bring it up because the illusion isn't necessarily what you think it is. So most people see an illusion as something that has been pulled over their eyes, and they think that that's real, and that's true, but that it comes from an outside force. In essence, the illusion is more to do with the vibration that humanity has stepped into. It's created a separation, and that separation created a vibration that they weren't powerful at all. They lost their connection to source energy, they lost their connection to their soul, and they seeked outside of themselves for another person to guide them, to lead them. So the illusion isn't that it isn't something that we can't control. It isn't something that we're waiting for somebody outside of ourselves to fix. It isn't anything to do with outside of ourselves. The illusion is the understanding that we are, in essence, source energy, God itself, and we are playing small to feel into more of a separated vibration than source energy, so that we could experience creating without guidance, and see and feel into what actually happens with that. There's a lot that was learned from humanity's separation. There's a lot that other beings watched and learned from this separation. It's almost like the darker they went, the more understanding into what love really was. And source energy went on an adventure to find what love really felt like, what in essence it really was. It was love to begin with, but it didn't have an understanding of that love. So it just was. So when it went on an adventure to discover itself, it started to branch off into different source energy lines, and each line gravitated towards different planetary experiences, and the separation then had to be broken into those that consumed energy and those that created energy. So we then had a polarized effect within our reality. This is just this universe, this matrix of beings that were constantly searching for themselves, and being reflected with the opposite, because the opposite was actually what they were searching for. So in other words, the creators were searching for the consumers, and the consumers were searching for the creators to find their other part of themselves so that they could feel whole again and realize that all came from love, that everything just came from source energy. So the illusion for humanity was that they disconnected from their soul so much that they felt the weakest source energy could feel through them. They didn't have an understanding that they were powerful at all, and they just became victim to their life, and that allowed races to come in and dictate how they should create and consume. And so with humanity being one of the beings that was closest to source energy's vibration at the first split of consumer creativity, because they have both genes, DNA within them of these different, very polarized different beings. They had to get used to both sides. So in order for all that were part of humanity's experience, including all of those that gave the DNA to them and everything, in order for them to be part of that, they had to go through a massive journey of learning how to just create and then learning how to just consume. So a massive journey of being completely only in alignment with soul, and then completely not. And that is the illusion that they're wanting to bring up now, because although it is not as we are, because we are source energy creating an adventure, the illusion is that we aren't. So and the other reason why they're bringing this up is because we're stepping out of that now. We're starting to have a better understanding of the power of everything. Everything in essence is of the same magnitude. Everything in essence is source energy. dividing itself into different experiences. It doesn't matter if it's a plant, a cat, or whatever. It doesn't matter if it's human or another being on another planet. It doesn't matter if you're benevolent or not. But the awareness around that encapsulates the person on a different path, on a different journey. Each time a new awareness comes in, that person ends up becoming a new story. They start to see from different perspectives because they have a different awareness. Okay, they're also bringing up that because I just did I did 3 stages of the soul's evolution. To go see that if you want to have more of a bearing of what the soul's evolution and new perspectives are, and where humanity is actually going with their soul alignment. That channeled a message came through Bobbie as she tapped into the Akashic records, and so go visit that if you want to have a look. The other thing is the more we come in alignment with our soul and the essence of our soul, many are going to find a more sensitive role in the perspective of life. So heightened awarenesses brings, and empathy brings everything to become more than what it was before when we weren't linked into our soul. So the heightened awarenesses could be anything from sight, seeing, smell, right through to telepathy, telekinesis, and all those sort of other gifts that come with heightened awareness and new perspective of life, and how energy flows through everything, and how we are part of our reality outside of ourselves, as well as our bodies, that we don't just end at our bodies anymore. And with that, it can become quite, you might feel changes, like massive changes, if you don't resonate with the stories of the apocalyptic movies and the awful horror stories and all that sort of thing, because it just doesn't resonate, doesn't excite you anymore. You get more excited by, you resonate, you feel more comfortable even than with stories of adventure and expression and empathy and heart-based programs. And they're bringing up that it's not boring. It's not boring. If anything, it's way more exciting, because there's way more to you notice way more. The light shines on more. The more you resonate with your soul and source energy and oneness, the light shines on more. So you get to experience more, and life becomes way more exciting. You realize that no one can take your power away. You can always find another path. There's trillions of paths to be found and explored, even on Gaia. The powers, so-called powers to be, at the moment, they are only got a very small fraction of the story, and they just keep on trying to focus us into the funnel of that one little story. But when we say no to that, then the universe brings us new stories to us, and all we have to say is no more, from our own individual essence, and then we will be gifted, shown abundance and new paths, new people coming together and collaborating, new ideas forming. The laws won't be able to be holding us into that funneled fear-based scenario anymore. So it's not that we're waiting for them to fall. We're literally waiting for humanity to rise, and it's going to come in waves. So the Arcturians have an incredible amount of wisdom, and they want to share that with humanity. They want to get into the understanding even more into the science, the material side of things with humanity as well. So many are going to be channeling information that's beyond their limited education, and when that happens, they can take that and use it to forge new paths. So they will have a better understanding of the energies that are working around our bodies and within, and also how different frequencies align and to reprogram them and so forth. Generators are coming up. Also fractions into different, I'm just trying to see what they're saying here. There's like fractional patterns that create, and sacred geometry that create, and attunement to voices, and each soul tribe has attunement to certain frequencies that they can gain more perspective into once they all start to come together and they harmonize. Just their voices alone are going to resonate and open what you might call portals, but it's actually just tapping into the frequency of their wisdom of their soul, so that they can bring through that information as well. So Arcturians want to help guide humanity with way more scope into what reality really is, so that we can make higher based decisions, but that cannot happen until each individual person that they work with has found alignment within themselves and made peace with all that they are, that they love every part of themselves, whether they are confronted with another person and they stand their ground and say no, whether they can get angry and say that's okay for me to be angry in that moment, to stand my ground and hold my vibration, or whether it's to be happy. We have to embrace every single part of who we are, and in that embracing and acceptance of that, we are free. We are free to be the expression of who we are and love ourselves so much that we only draw in love, and that love comes from brings in the Arcturians to be able to work with you, because they are in that frequency themselves. It's not that you become a walkover, someone can walk all over you. No, you become actually stronger because you allow all to hold power within yourself. It's not even that you need to be angry, because by the time you've finished, just your acceptance of your power, of your anger, makes you just stand affirm within your own vibrations. So you end up being just a very strong essence of who you are, and all else falls away from you. But until then, there has to be an acceptance of why the anger is in humanity's vibrational emotion, and so that is a lack of, and that's a lack of power. So yeah, they're wanting us to embrace and understand every fraction of ourselves, emotionally, heart-based, within the intelligence of ourselves, and the scope that we can adventure on our bodies, and acceptance of how our bodies change, and not just see one fraction of our bodies being perfect, and then as we become elders, we get down on ourselves, on our bodies. That is our perfect as well, how our bodies develop, and it's always in reflection to how we feel about ourselves anyway, and what we accept of who we are. See if they've got anything else. They're showing me a river, And the river is flowing very well in many. Always use the blocks or the rocks that are in the river or a flow of your life. When you come across a block, always use them to have an understanding that there is no block. They're showing me the matrix. There is no rock. There is no boulder in your way. It's just a illusional program that there is, and a forgetting that you are the river and that the rock can dissipate. It doesn't hold water anyway. There is always another path. So when you go beyond that block, you turn around in the block, and the rock is gone. The block is gone. So it never existed in the first place. Let's see if there's anything else. They will contact, first of all, those, well, especially those that have an understanding of their vibration and resonance with them. That they will be. There are certain people on Gaia herself that have come straight from Arcturia, and it's not until that person asks or says they're ready, not just from their mind but from their whole essence of their body. You can ask till the cows come home if it's just from your mind, and they will not respond. But if you are really ready, like your acceptance of their power and resonant with them, when you ask, then they will come in and show you and guide you, especially those that have come straight from Arcturia. They don't like to come to Earth, to Gaia, as much in physical form, because it's very everything is very heightened for them here, and it doesn't feel right. Everything's squiffed. It's like they're showing me the matrix patterns here, but warped, like a wobble, and it's kind of like feeling yucky, almost like when you're if you, I mean, obviously males haven't been pregnant, but if you're pregnant and you get that morning sickness, or if you go on a boat and you get that travel sickness, that wobble feeling, everything feels heightened and yucky. So they don't come here unless they can find a very good frequency. So you could call them in and they could come in the future, but you would have to have, a surrounding that resonates with them as well, an environment that resonates with them as well. Other than that, they will take you in your sleep, your soul, through, not take you as in against your will or anything. There would have to be that connection, resonant connection. But they will bring you to their ships and stuff and show you things. And they can also come through using sort of like holographic vibrational projections, but they do tend to rather stay, like they have been working with humanity for a very long time. They keep showing me the bike. They keep showing me that the bicycle is one of their stories that they channel through somebody, and then that they showed them their way. One of their ways of transport was a ball of light that whirled around, and that ball of light could carry them. And in that respect, the penny farthing was birthed first. And that's why it was, the big wheel and the little wheel kind of thing. They were trying to, humanity was trying to recreate what they had channeled through, and then eventually become the two wheels. So, and that they said that's because they're linked straight to source energy, a lot of them, and so the energy that they roll on is almost oneness, where our energy is two. It's something to do with that. I don't know. I'm just feeling into it now. My logical brain's getting in the way there. I have to let it go. Is there anything else? They're laughing. That's funny. Okay. Also, they want to bring up that vibration. So they work with different tribes in Africa. They, with the vibrational sound, and the ones that jump up and down, they showed them that to get the energy flowing and harmonizing with their vocals. It was raising their vibration into a higher vibration. They also worked with the Tibetans a lot, and the bowls. They work with the chanting, the gateways, the mandalas, all of that. That's their connection to the Tibetans. That's why they have bald heads, because so did they. They taught them about reincarnation. There was a strong link to Tibetan monks and Tibetans. That's why some of their gods are blue too, although they were hybrids. So it's because they needed to be a hybrid to go into this energy. Some planets, they're showing me now, some planets aren't even visible to humanity. It's kind of like when we become more aware, they will all of a sudden appear. Colours are going to be more vibrant. There's going to be more colours coming too. So just be aware of that when that happens. It's okay. Our reality will always reflect that. That's why we now get crystals that are fused, and just like this crystal. So this crystal is an actual naturally formed crystal, but it's been infused with a metal, which creates all these different, I don't know if you can see them, colours and so forth. There's actually rainbows and all sorts in there. So this wasn't around, a couple of 100 years ago, because we had to have the technique to be able to do it. And what happens is we get the technique and our vibration goes up, our reflection reflects that. We end up seeing more vibrancy in different things. So that's what they're trying to say, is that our technology will burst, new colours will come into our spectrum. We start to gain more awareness of our reality. It's not as closed off into just the seven rainbow colours. Like you might even see more than 7 colours of a rainbow eventually, depending on how fast your evolutional jump is. But in the end, we're talking, it just depends on each individual person too. So those that can see colour, that those that can see sound, although they can go in their brain and say, oh, this is why, there is much more, many more connections that the brain can handle that can become our awareness of greater scope in these higher frequencies. Because we're not limited to that's our limit and that's it, that's all that we can do. We can tap into different animals, and different animals come from different planets, and many different species on Gaia come from different planets. And when we tap into them, we can experience their vibration. They can see way more, they can smell way more, they can feel way more. They have telepathic connections. You have the birds that flock together because they can understand that they're all one, and they become one mind when they fly like that. They become one mind when the fish swim like that. It's one collaboration, but it's from a soul's perspective. It's not from an outside force, you know, linking us to a mainstream computer or something like that, where somebody else has the button and they can press whatever they like and infuse whatever chemical concoction into that person's being and turn them into something that they don't want to be. You know, it's not an outside force. This is something to do with our taking our power back and connecting to our soul. The powers knew that this was going to happen, and so they're trying to match that vibration with still holding humanity hostage with an outside force. And that's why they wanted everyone to pull together as one in their contents of being able to switch the button, whatever they wanted to do. They still had the reins, they were at the top of the pyramid. But in essence, it's just a reflection of where humanity can literally go, because we take our power back from the inner journey. Seeing if there's anything else that they want to bring through. They do want to get technical of me and bring up some information of words that I don't know. But I can write it out, but this is my first channeling, so anyway, let's see what else I've got. Okay, they're showing me the printed word, and then they're showing me the printed word from many eons ago. There's going to be tablets. There's they're bringing me to Thoth. Tablets and information coming forward that's going to be shared a lot more. Though the reason why that information is important is because it holds vibrational link to codes. It's not necessarily, the words are absolutely important, but it is an awareness that happens from reading or listening to those tablets, and then it's like it clicks into certain people's minds that are already knew about that in previous lives on different planets, and then they are solidifying it in their mind. They can bring it through as the actual channel, the actual message, vibrational. It's kind of like they bring in, they read the tablet, they feel the essence of it, and because they've been here long enough, they can then interpret it through the logical mind on what the language is here now, in the now, and that what other people can understand. So it's kind of like an upgrade of the information. They're bringing that up because there is Arcturian messages coming through that have been held and will be found. They're showing me a ball, and it's very like this is in the corner of my eye, so it's kind of like that color. But it's more like a energy morphing in and out. To be held. It's to help an integration process happen with those that are aware and awake. They can imagine that in essence first, but eventually they will be able to manifest it there is a solidness about it in the center and the core of it that whirls, but most of it is energy. And the reason why they're bringing that up is the core of that ball it's to do with the wisdom of the tablets. So it's to do with the information on the tablets allows us to align with these new energetic experiences that can come forth from humanity's consciousness and energy that they hold, that they can produce, they hold, but and produce from their own energy. And then this ball will emerge, and then they have, I'm just trying to see where that ball actually goes. Why are they bringing this up? Because, okay, it's okay to have a ball of light, and I understand that, but why? Maybe a direct okay, I see. And so certain people will find that they can emanate through their imagination first until their logical brain really snaps in. Like, okay, I see it now. So they're showing me the printed word, they're showing me tablets, they're showing me the ancient sites, they're showing me the be found, they're showing me people that come up to those ancient sites, those tablets, and they read them. They're showing me the codes coming through them, and then when that code comes through them, they will imagine there's all sorts of things that can come, but they're showing me just one thing at the moment so that I can have the story going from in a linear fashion. So they're showing me that they will gain awareness, that they can emanate and produce this ball of energy that sits. And it almost has a solidified thing in the center that's swirling. Kind of see the atoms sort of swirling around it in a way, but it's energy in itself. And then that energy is the link to others that have that around the world. So there's all these different beings that have been born straight through from Arcturians around the earth. They will come across the code. The code will be ignited by the ball through to others. They will remember. They will start to produce this ball, and then they have a connection around Earth, around Gaia. So, because they keep showing me quite a few of them. There's not thousands or anything, but it's almost like tripping up over them and finding them on the beach or something, but they're not. They're actually producing them themselves, and through the heightened awareness of their connection to the Arcturians. And that holds a new vibration for the Arcturians to then start visiting Earth once that starts happening. Something to do with that. Okay, so that is my channel messages. Sorry, I'm just feeling quite so thank you very much for listening. I'll be back next week with more, and I will see where my channeling takes me. It could be anything. I could be tapping into Gaia, the Akashic records, the Anteriors? Okay, I don't know who. Okay, that's interesting. There's other ones that are wanting to come through that humanity doesn't know about. Serenians. It's interesting. Anyway, so many different other beings that could come through, and we'll just see where this all leads. Love you guys heaps. Until next time, bye.